This. There we go. All right. Good morning, guys. So here's the fun part about today. I I know we've talked, well, we probably haven't talked a lot, but many people know, right, about AI and some of the value add that artificial intelligence brings to where we are today. The cool thing about specifically today is I'm going to walk you through why we look at doing this and why does it matter and all these other things. Now, if you want to take notes, you are very welcome to. The other thing I'm going to be very honest with you is I wrote you this companion right here, which is basically a little I don't know, walkthrough, if you will, of what we're going to do. And at the very end of this, actually created a prompt for you to run in ChatGPT that will actually walk you through all of this stuff on exactly how you are going to get an updated biography at the end of this. Okay. So I'm going to send this to you. In fact, why don't I just do this right now because I love you and I care about you. Let me just change my sharing settings. Um, because you matter. So, and again, I'll send this out to everybody. It'll get posted everywhere that you want to go. But this is going to be kind of the prompt, if you will, that I'm going to work through today inside of that. So, a couple of things to consider as we look at updating your bio. Why did we want to start talking about this? Since I can only see two of you, I'm getting three of you. Patrick's alive. Look at that. Um, so my question is, and if anybody's willing to share, when's the last time you updated your bio?
Last
I
week.
just,
Last week,
yeah,
show offs.
yeah,
Last
yeah,
Well,
last
this is
week.
backfiring quickly. Okay. Well, that's awesome. Um, I don't know. Anybody not touch theirs? I know Chris recently did hers and okay, Andrew, thank you. Patrick, all right, some honesty. I appreciate that. So here's the thing. The reason I thought this through is I started to go through this and I went to a listing appointment. I got a phone call from somebody and it's a trust situation where the guy who owns the property died. They got my name from the attorney and different things like that. So I went out there and I met the executor who has no like info or anything else because there's seven kids involved. And she goes, "Hey, would you mind sending me, your bio and a little bit about you so that I can share that with the kids just so they can feel comfortable with who's going to represent this asset?" And I thought to myself, oh no. When's the last time I updated my bio? So I went into Bay, I looked under my profile, and I quickly saw a 2 to 3 sentence, terrible, horribly written bio. And I said, well, this isn't good. So then I started to deep dive into this thing. And I started to go, well, how many other people don't have bios? And I started looking through it. And sure enough, many of you had zero bios. Many of you had very small bios that were pretty rough and terrible. And so I started to think about this and I went, this is one of those areas that is pretty critical for what we do, especially when it comes to being found, right? We know that 98, 99% of all real estate transactions start online, right? Whether on the buy or sell side, it all starts online. So when I look at the importance of your bio, that's where I'm starting to recognize like this matters to people, right? Like they are reading your bio and different things like that. And I remember I did a coaching call with one of our agents, and we did this. I want to say last summer, and her bio sucked, right? And I said, listen, we got to fix this. This is terrible. How is this supposed to go into your listing presentation? How does any of this work, right? And so she updated her bio and then since then has gotten multiple comments from people that she goes on appointments with because guess what, they Google her, they find her, they read the bio, they learn about all these other fun stuff. And since I've updated my bio, and this was probably 3 weeks ago, I've had two people make comments to me about how much I enjoy iced coffee. And I thought, and as I do, I go, well, how do you know that? Where did you learn that? And they said, well, we read your bio. I was like, oh yeah, ChatGPT knew that I like to have a little bit of humor in my bio because I told it, right? And then it knew that I loved iced coffee because I told it. So it made some funny, quippy jokes on it. Next thing you know, here we go. So it's an important piece here because, again, this is the kind of the first impression. This is that critical point that most consumers are going to find for you. Whether or not you have a really strong one or not, I think this is something I kind of feel like we almost like headshots. It needs to be revisited every year, if not every other year right? This is one of those things that should be updated, whether your clients are looking at it, whether you need to submit one for awards, whether you need to submit one just for whatever else. It's just kind of nice to have that. And by the way, if we as a company need to toot your horn because you're super awesome, it also gives us something to share from, right? So like there's good and there's just lots of good things around this. So um, that's kind of the why behind why this came up. And I thought we should really focus on this. The other side of that is we talk about how often do you update this thing? Well, I shared with you, I didn't update my bio for many, many moons because I didn't really think it mattered, which is kind of weird, if I'm really honest with you, because I've updated my bio in literally every other vertical that I'm in. Okay. So I've updated my bio for my speaking engagements because they want me to do it every single year. And I have a long form, a short form, and a two sentencer, right? It's on a one sheet that gets handed in. I've updated my bio for my soccer coaching consulting stuff that I do, because when I go and people want me to help them, they want to know, well, who was this Brandon kid, right? So they always ask, well, okay, can we get your bio, right? And so you write these bios in all these different verticals. I never thought about it in this one, which is terrible, you guys. And I'm recording this, so I probably shouldn't have said that, but that's the reality of it. I forget to do things just as much as you. So, in the vein of trying to get it better, why would we update that, right? So, again, first impressions, how often should we do it? I'm going to suggest every year or two. Okay. And why would it be? Well, you want to refresh it just in case, you start talking about like, has your service area expanded, right? Like I'm working with a couple of you right now that are looking at, branching out because the market's a little bit tighter, right? And you're willing to drive a little bit further. You're willing to service different areas. You see an area of opportunity that isn't served, right? So your service area could be expanding. Your bio should include the keywords of service areas because guess what? Google is going to read every single one of these bios and it's going to know that information and it's going to associate you with those things. Yesterday, we were talking on our leadership meeting, about designations, right? Maybe you, this last year through ABR, maybe you went out and you received your accredited buyer representative designation. It was free. Maybe you took advantage of that. Hopefully you did, right? Is that updated in your bio, right? Because if you put ABR on your signature, chances are you're going to look super smart like the doctor, but no consumer is going to have any idea what that means, right? So have you explained that? Some of you are brand new to us, to Crown, right? So you want to make sure that your brokerage is actually correct and updated appropriately so that it actually says the right brokerage that you're licensed with. Maybe you guys are spending some new time in developing, new specialties like global luxury. A couple of you have talked about going into that global luxury space, trying to utilize more of the Coldwell Banker tools in the global luxury program in order to fulfill that. And then lastly, just updating your personal story, right? 24, as I shared with the team earlier on our Crown Wide meeting, 24 kind of sucked for me. It wasn't a great year. I'm really excited to move forward, right? So when we do that, there are parts of our personal story that can be updated. Have you moved? Are you building something? Are you restoring a car? Someday I would really like to put that in my bio. I know nothing about restoring cars, but I still think it would be really fun. Have you expanded your network in some way? Have you joined a new local board? Are you serving in a different nonprofit? Did you find a new passion? So these are all reasons why updating your bio is important because again, just like video, just like Facebook, just like Instagram, all those social stuff out there, consumers are finding you left and right. And whether or not you're giving them a reason to look for you, they could just be, oh, I dated Christine in high school. I wonder what she's up to. And then she, like starts Googling and next thing you know, they find Christine's bio, they start reading it and they doing all this stuff, right? So like there's lots of value in providing this best piece here. So, one of the other things I want to mention here too is, and this came up in our team meeting yesterday here in Alec, was make sure you guys, if you haven't claimed like your online profiles, this would be a really good time to do that. Meaning, if you haven't claimed your Zillow.com profile, your Realtor.com, your Homes.com, your Trulia.com, all these terrible things out there. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a note too. I'm going to get a list of that together because I know I have it somewhere. Um, List of profiles. That way you have it too, and I'll add it to this document. But if you don't have access to that, that's one of those things that you need to do right now. Even yesterday, I was shocked. We're all learning. In the meeting yesterday, one of the agents said, I don't even know I had a realtor.com profile. I promise you do. Okay. So like if you haven't done the work of logging on, you can claim your profile, you can update, it also gives you the ability to do some pretty cool stuff on the listing side, by the way, which we can talk about at a later time than today. But ChatGPT is great for doing that too, like changing your listing description, right? And making it custom to each platform because they like that. And then they promote that listing higher in their algorithm because it has unique data to them. That's not just the standard mumbo jumbo that's fed from MLS, which is true for your profile because we feed all of that stuff for you to all of those platforms. Whether or not they accept it and they verify that it's accurate and all that is not something they do. They just take the information we push, and hopefully we named your profile image field the same as they labeled their profile image field, so it connects. But if they say profile photo and we say profile image, it doesn't connect. So we got to watch some of that stuff too. So anyway, that's it. Any questions or thoughts before we kind of dive in here and really starting to look at this? Nobody's got anything? The five of you that I could see, the rest of you, I have no idea. Okay. Well, then let's dive in, shall we? So, how many of you are familiar with ChatGPT, by the way? Couple?
A little
Okay.
bit.
All right. So what I'm going to do is let me share my screen here, and I'm going to go into incognito mode so that it doesn't auto sign me in here. But so one of the things you're going to look for inside of this, so with the AI algorithm, is basically ChatGPT. You can Google ChatGPT if you want. Otherwise, the platform, you can go to chatgpt.com. Okay, let me put that in the chat too, just so you got it quick and handy. So ChatGPT, in case you're wondering, is one of the fastest growing artificial platforms that's been out there. It had more signups than Facebook and YouTube and everybody combined within a 48-hour time frame when it first launched, because everybody just absolutely lost their marbles. Somehow it didn't break the servers, which was also kind of impressive that they could handle that much bandwidth. But now it has become kind of a staple. Full disclosure, I pay for it. I personally pay for it on a monthly basis because I use it a lot. I don't know if you've noticed this, but my physical writing is not that great. Shut up, Katie. So the idea behind that is that I can communicate pretty well in a verbal sense in talking to you, but when I have to write stuff down, I don't necessarily know where the comma always goes, and I type conversationally, not grammatically. And by the way, if you've ever had to teach your kids the English language, you very quickly realize how dumb this language is. My kids are like, "But what about this rule?" And I'm like, "Yes, except there's a different rule for when this happens, right?" And they're like, "Why?" And I'm like, I don't know. Ask your mom because I don't get it. So anyway, the idea behind that is that I use it a lot for writing. I use it. I haven't written my own. I haven't written my own listing descriptions for about 2 years. Okay. I've used it to craft marketing campaigns. I've used it to pretty much do a good chunk of my business right now, which I'm a big fan of, by the way, in case you're curious. So you can come to chatgpt.com. You can actually use this thing in, excuse me, without logging in. Usually it's going to ask you to log in some capacity, but there are a couple things that you can do. So I'm going to go and see how far I can get without this thing. The other thing, again, I want you to remember is that when you start heading out to some of these, I want you to make sure that you go out there. I'm just going to see if I can find myself really quick. So like here, I want you to start looking at this stuff and making sure that like, hey, are you found? Are you here? Okay. You can click on your name and then you actually have the ability to claim this profile. Okay. Right here, see where it says, are you Brandon Johnson at the bottom? You can go edit profile and then it can walk you through. The big thing is making sure that whatever email address this thing has is the one that you connect it to. You can always change that, but you need to make sure that you have the option to. Here is an updated bio. This one is fairly old because I'm going to use it as an example today to kind of walk you through where this is. But so Zillow is the same thing as, again, if you haven't claimed it, I want you to go to Zillow, find an agent. I want name, Brandon Johnson. 5, 6. Look at how many of us there are out there, you guys. It's just a sad deal. Here I am. Okay, so again, this one I actually customized a little bit and changed a little bit just to kind of again give a little bit more chutzpah here. Again, making sure all your contact information is up and ready to go, socials and all the other stuff. Now this one, if I remember correctly, you got to come down to the bottom Um, and of course, I should have looked. It's on here somewhere to claim it. I don't know if anybody sees it or knows. Tell me. I don't see it. It's in here though. You just got to make sure when you come to Zillow, they want you to come down and log in down at the bottom for the agent portal. So just make sure that you're doing that. I want to say somewhere down here. Anyway, you get the point. So ChatGPT. So as far as your bio goes, there's two things you do. Number one, if you really like your bio, does anybody really like their bio currently?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Since Christine said something, I'm going to go pick on Christine. Let's go see what
Oh,
Christine.
great.
Well, you said it. There she is. A photo, 21 years experience. Whoop, whoop. Hey, see, look at this. There we go. Oh, see, so Christine's is written in the third person, right? So that's something you get to decide. You want it written as third or first person, which is totally, I don't think there's a right or wrong way. It just depends upon your brand and your personal style. So the first thing I can do is like, let's just say that we really, really like this one. So if you have one, okay, that you really, really like, the first thing I want you to do is just copy it. And you can just simply say, please I should preface this. The first thing I always do with ChatGPT, because it has an exorbitant amount of knowledge, is narrow its focus, right? So I can say, you are an expert copywriter as an example. Okay. Please rewrite my biography. Um, let's see here. I'm just gonna say, please rewrite my biography that I'll share below. The other little tip that I always do, always give it a category in which ChatGPT is going to live in, and then always say, do you have any questions? Okay. So, and he says, please share and let me know if there are any specific points you'd like emphasize. Thank you, because I always like to be polite to the robots just in case they ever take over the world and they come back. They're going to remember that I was nice to them. Okay. So that's my own little tip. Um, you can do what you want with it, but that's what I do, right? Here is my biography. So I'm going to paste in what's in there. And then, so now here is, I mean, it's really simple. The first thing I did is I just narrowed the scope of what that thing is, right? So you're a copywriter. I want you to be really good at this, right? And then I said, did you have any questions? Those are kind of the two things that I always bookend any prompt that I give ChatGPT. Always let it know what arena you're in. And then, do you have any questions, right? Sometimes I let it ask me questions too. All right. So Christine Lambertson, let's see here. I'm going to read you the original. Is a dedicated and experienced real estate professional known for her integrity, knowledge, and commitment to clients. That's true, by the way. With over 2 decades of working experience with first-time buyers, sellers, investors, and banks, Christine is passionate about guiding her clients through the complexities of real estate with clear communication and personalized care. Also true. She earned her real estate license in 2003 and holds the prestigious GRI designation. Originally from Cold Spring, Christine moved to Alexandria with her family, where they enjoy lake life and spending time with their 10 grandchildren. Is it still 10?
No, it's 11 now. I need to change that.
Yeah, sucker. Thanks for
Yep.
the great example of why we update on an annual basis. I was going to say, I didn't think it was 10. When she's
Yep.
not working, Christine loves gardening, home remodeling, and crafting. She's committed to making each real estate experience smooth, rewarding, and stress-free for every client. Right? I like that. Here's the rewrite. Christine Lambertson's a seasoned, real estate expert known for her unwavering integrity, deep industry knowledge, and client-first approach. With more than 20 years of experience, Christine has worked with a diverse range of clients, including first-time homebuyers, seasoned sellers, investors, and financial institutions. Her passion lies in simplifying the often complex world of real estate, ensuring her clients receive clear guidance and personalized attention every step of the way. Since earning a real estate license in 2003, Christine has earned the Distinguished GRI's designation, further solidifying her expertise in the field. Originally from Cold Spring, Christine now calls Alexandria home, where she enjoys lake life with her family and cherishes time spent with her 10 grandchildren. When she's not helping clients navigating the market, you'll find her gardening, tackling home remodeling projects, or crafting something special. Christine's goal is to make every real estate transaction as smooth and rewarding and stress-free as possible. Not too bad, right? Like just, and that was unprompted. That's just a straight like paste and go, right? So first thing we're going to do, please update to show I now have 11 grandchildren. And all it's going to do is it's going to redo it and it's going to come through. And if life is well, right, it should just simply state that she now has 11 grandchildren. Boom. Okay. So that's the first thing. Now I can also say, this is great. Thank you, because I don't want you to come back and take over my world. Could you rewrite this in the first person? And now you can have an immediate quick switch, right? So it's just a simple little tweak to come back. Christine, any other tweaks you want to do?
No, not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Do you have any
Uh,
suggestions for me to improve my biography? Oh, it might ask me to. Okay, so now I just said, hey, do you have any suggestions, right? So I'm just going to ask it. I'm going to be really simple. Okay. So here's a couple things to take it to the next level. Highlight a personal achievement, showcase my testimonial, strong emotional appeal, brevity and flow. I always like that one. Condensing or splitting a longer sentence could improve. So here's an update with a couple of suggestions that it added to make it read a little better. I'm Christine Lamberton, a dedicated real estate professional with over 20 years experience helping people find their perfect home. Known for my integrity, knowledge, and commitment to my clients, I specialize in guiding first-time buyers, seasoned investors, and those seeking lakefront properties. Throughout my career, I've earned a reputation of providing clear communication, expert advice, and personalized care, making each transaction as smooth and stress-free as possible. I earned my license in 2003, hold the prestigious GRI designation. Over the years, I've successfully closed hundreds of transactions, always with the goal of putting my clients' needs first. Originally from Cold Spring, I now call Alexandria home, where I enjoy lake life, spending time with my 11 grandchildren. Updated that one for you. And when we're not helping clients navigate the real estate market, you'll find me in my garden, remodeling my home, or crafting something special. I believe in building long lasting relationships, not just finding houses. My goal is to help you find a place you'll love to call home. Better? I don't know, right? Like each one of you is going to have your own little flair on how you want that to look. Now, what's kind of fun about this too is you can say, I'd like this condensed to, let's say, a max of 3 sentences to use on social media platforms. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to say, what's a condensed version, right? And there you go. Kind of fun.
yeah.
Let's say I'd like to insert um, a little fun fact about me. What's a fun fact about you, Christine? Isn't this
Oh
fun? You're
God.
just like a demo. That's
Yeah.
great.
I don't know.
Okay.
Fun fact.
What should
Uh,
I include? Let's just ask it and see what it says.
yeah.
A unique hobby or skill, memorable experience, a fun twist on your job. Oh, I'm busy remodeling my own life. That's funny. See, I like stuff like that, but that's where my six twisted
No,
humor comes into
remodeling
play.
projects are, yeah, they're on hold and done. I've done enough remodeling projects around here that
Um, So if you use the prompt that I created for you, it will ask you some of this information, and it will just go through that process in a completely different way. So this is a really easy way. Excuse me. As you can see, all I did is I just said, "Hey, I'd like you to rewrite it." Right. And just see what it does. The big thing you guys want to know is like you have to read this. You can't just copy and paste it, right? Um, AI is great at what I say. It's great bones, like structure building, but everything else needs to be finessed and it needs to be you. You can't, well, you can, but it sounds terrible, and the AI algorithms and everything will pick it up. I just read an article a couple days ago about how Google has taken their Gemini product and they're expanding it to cover their database and their ranking system now because so many people are out there. using AI to write blogs and to write all this content and stuff like that and to create all this content, but yet it's all just computer generated. It's not actual individual thoughts. And so, it's interesting. They're using Gemini to scrub other artificial intelligence to rank it lower out there, which I think is kind of interesting. So now you have robots battling for position on Google's search results, but nevertheless, it's still kind of where we are. So this is a way in which you can kind of come through and you can just really simply readjust this one without a lot of issues, right? And you can kind of read through it. You can change any errors, like my grandchildren are wrong, right? You can change any pieces of this kind of stuff that you want to work through. You could so like with Christine's, we took it from a third person, and I just had them rewrite it in a first person. And Christine, if you like third, there's nothing wrong with that. Like I'm just whatever you want. I generally like first person because it feels as though I'm introducing myself to somebody when they're reading it. You know, if you're like, I want a more professional vibe, that's great. Again, not right or wrong, just different. So then you can say even just this, hey, do we want to add anything? Well, sure. Here's a couple things you could consider, right? And maybe you want to work through that. Do I have a anything I've achieved, new designations? Did I get award status with Coldwell Banker last year? So on and so forth. Even just simple things like this, right? Like specializing in lakefront properties, right? Many of our markets we do. I have some friends, down in the metro who they specialize in condos, right? And high rises. I ain't ever selling one of those things because I know nothing about them, right? So you're not going to find that in my bio. You're going to find stuff about me riding on my pontoon with my kids trying to flip them off their tubes with my iced coffee in hand. That's what you're going to find in my stuff. But it's still like it could be simple stuff like what are you doing and what are you not. The other thing to consider with all of this is a little bit of that SEO. And this is one of those little extra nuggets that I'd like you to focus on. And what that could look like is simple. I'd like to add some I'm going to say specific keywords to help my rankings in searches. I focus in and around the Alexandria, Minnesota area. And again, please ask any additional questions. So the benefit here is that when you start to add specific keywords, you're going to start to get a little bit more of the Google juice, right? Again, that's all the basics of it. So you can talk about target markets like Christine's was really good. It talks about multiple client types that she works with, talks about the area that she serves. And all this would do is just to say, hey, in order to optimize your ranking, here are some questions, right? To refine it further, okay? So when it gives you, the prompt is going to kick back out and it's going to say, hey, here's a couple of questions that I'd like you to answer. It's as simple as just going, okay, answer one, right? Target market. Christine, are you focusing on any specific types of property, lake homes, luxury homes, or vacation properties?
No, I mean, I'm doing them all. Not so much luxury homes, but more so the lakefront and vacation homes.
Let's see here. Lake front homes and vacation home buyers. And sellers is the word I was looking for. Which kind of covers that. And then I'm just going to go, all right, next two location specific phrases. I just said in and around Alec. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
No adjustments to location. Any other services that you offer? Relo, home staging. Are you specialized in anything like bank owned transactions? Any designations you want highlighted? Now, I should caveat all this. Christine is totally unprepared for this, so don't judge her. Okay, like I just literally called on her, so that's all.
I mean, I used to do bank-owned properties. I mean, that used to be a huge forte of mine, but I haven't done them. I mean, there's not a lot out there, but I gave up my account when I left Centennial Realty.
So I'm going to say, do you have any other questions? Yeah, so based on what you've shared, I'll incorporate terms like lakefront homes, vacation homes, and bank-owned properties while maintaining a natural flow, right? So again, this is the three sentence version, right? So we could easily go back and say, hey, please update that longer version, or whatever else. I can also say, that's super awesome. I would now like you to um, expand this biography based on the short and long versions to a full page to use in marketing and advertising pieces. Now, this will be interesting to see actually what it comes up with, right? So this is just simply like, hey, I'm going to put this in my Moxie Present. This is going to go in my buyer packet, my selling packet, whatever it is. And it's going to be a little bit of a longer approach, right, to how you would handle that. And again, this is still in the first person. So if we would want it, we would just flip it. But you can, I mean, I'm not going to read this to you, but this is, right? Nice little introduction. Okay. Like this, you're a trusted real estate expert in Alexandria. Maybe that's a phrase you like, maybe it's not. Experience you can trust. So like these are pretty generic, I'll say, phrases, and they may not be specific to Christine's brand. It may not be specific to your brand. And that's where you can change and tweak some of those things. But again, it gives you the framework, it gives you the body of the skeleton here that we can then build and add to. Talks about her deep connection and then outside of real estate. Okay. Then a little thing, if you're ready to take your next step, let's work together. Right. So like this, I mean, you could probably take this and with 5 minutes of tweaking, right? Maybe a little longer. You got a great document like to prep you and to make it ready to go, right? Could be a leave behind, could be a part of a mailer. You could send this to, I mean, this could be a call to action piece potentially, right? Like you could send this with a home valuation request of one of the landing pages you built out in Bay or whatever else, So there's a lot of different things you can do with that as you begin to work through this space. So, any questions on this? Any thoughts here? Are you learning something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually doing mine as you're speaking.
There you go.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've never been on this before. It's amazing.
Okay. Sean will not work the rest of the day. That's what I just learned. So,
Probably. Well, I mean, now I'm just going to the one-page version after it updated the one I had on Zillow. So now I'm just kind of expanding it out, just like you just said. So yeah, it's unbelievable. Could you
it's a
imagine if
pretty
you
cool
had this when you're
space.
going to school? You didn't have to go
Uh,
to class. Huh?
yep. What's fun now is that you're seeing a lot of maybe I don't know how much AI stuff you guys follow, right? But I'll actually see some professors are getting fired because they're not fact checking. They're just accepting papers that are written by AI. But now, of course, guess what? There's AI that will rewrite it in a human voice instead of a computer generated voice. So you have that coming into play, which is another fun one. Let me see if I still have the one I just found a new tool the other day and I was just playing with it. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, probably not, because my kids are always on my phone. Anyway, if I can find it real quick, I want to say, was it Twain AI? Is that what it was? Let me see. Yeah. So here's another one that you can use, which talks primarily in the copywriting sales. So this is supposed to be like human level writing. ChatGPT, they say because it's been so overused and stuff, it continues to grow and get better and better. But it's still something that you can come through. So Twain AI is another one. There's a bunch of them out there that you can like copy your AI stuff, and it'll say your human readability score, meaning how likely is it to project that this was written by a human, which is fun because they say like really top end writers sometimes get really, really low scores because they write so complex. And the real basic stuff, like how Brandon writes, is probably going to get really high because there's grammatical errors and punctuation issues and everything else. So, but nevertheless, it's still an area that you get to kind of play with. So, again, this is a really simple way just to take if you have one that you like, and you can kind of work through. Let's see here. Christine, are you interested in any of these?
Oh yeah, I think there's a few things I want to add to mine. Like I'm a board member at the school.
Oh, see, that's a good
I
thing.
think, yeah,
Oh
and
yeah, by
and
the way, I
then
love that. Thank you. Um,
yes, and then play off the DIY how the projects
Yeah.
never go as you plan. It's,
Oh, there you go.
yeah,
That's cute. I like that.
to add that little fun piece that, yeah,
Um,
you think this DIY project's literally going to be, oh, quick half hour and 2 hours
it
later.
never is. Did you like the first person or did you like the third person?
Yes. Yeah, I think I'm going to change. Yep.
The first. I'm gonna just put these in
Yep.
a Word document and then I'll send it to you so that
Perfect.
that way you have it if in case you want
Yep.
to build and
Thank you.
tweak from it before I
Yeah.
sweet deal. Okay, so I'll send that to you so you have that. All right, so I'm going to start over, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back into this prompt, and I'm going to walk you through this really quick, just so you get an idea. And you can do it right now with me. If you want to go to the prompt, you can come down to where it's going to say prompt on, I think this is page 3, if I remember correctly. So you're going to copy and share the following into ChatGPT. Okay. So here is the prompt. Now, there's a couple things I want to remind you of. So North Dakota and Minnesota friends, right? So if you're Minnesota only, you don't have to have your license number, right? North Dakota friends, we have to display our license. So you just want to make sure this first one, like if you are licensed, you need to update this and or piece, okay? So actually, I'm going to highlight that right now. And if you're not, if you're one or the other, you can take out Minnesota. If you're licensed in just North Dakota, that's fine too, because we're trying to make this as reflective as we can. And so you'll want to tweak some of that inside of this space here. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this from this first break line. Okay. These are all the questions I'm asking it to prompt, and I'm going to take it all the way down to the next break line. Okay. You see where I'm at there. And I'm just going to simply copy that, right? Edit, copy. Okay. Then I'm going to come back over to ChatGPT. And again, I would recommend you create an account with ChatGPT just because it's nice to have your stuff. And then it gets saved there for you too. I'm going to come in and whether you log in or just use the plain start here, I'm going to come in and I'm just going to go ahead, right click, paste, and hit fire. Now, notice it says, hey, that sounds like a great plan. Let's begin with the first question. Which states are you licensed in? I am licensed in both states. Oh, look at this. It even knows the fact that, oh, I'll need your North Dakota license number for compliance.
Oh, unbelievable.
Weird. It's like I wrote this specifically for you, friends. I don't know my number, but I'm going to say that my number is 26178. I have to go look it up. I'm so sorry. What's my brokerage name? Now, the reason I added this here is in case for those of you on teams, right? You could add a team name with Coldwell Banker Crown, right? Or you could just say Coldwell Banker Crown Realtors. Although my kids still think it's Realty every single time. Drives me nuts. I try to correct them, which is fine. All right, so got it. You're with Coldwell Banker Crown Realtors. Let's move on to the next section. Preferred tone and length. What tone would you like your biography to have? Now, this is where, to me, I think it's important because everybody has their own different flavor on how you handle it, right? This is your business, guys. We are just your business partner, right? So when we look at this, we say, I mean, I can tell you what to do, but that doesn't mean it's what you should do. Okay. And now some areas I'm going to tell you what to do because it is what you should do because that's what you should do. This is one of those times when I say you can do whichever you want. Do you want it to be formal and professional, friendly, approachable, energetic, high spirited? You want it to be filled with sass and sarcasm. Got a great idea. But again, you want to know, like, when you think about your avatar, right, your ideal client, this is one of those spaces where you start to think, well, what does my ideal client respond to? How am I going to speak to that particular individual? So the first thing I'm going to say is the tone I'd like to start with, because maybe I'll want to modify it, would be friendly and approachable. And Brandon, again, didn't type right, so we're going to fix that. Friendly and approachable. I'd also like a few versions of the final biography. One, I'm going to say short form and one long form. I don't have any specific character counts or anything else. You'll notice it asked you about that. But it's going to say, all right, so here's what I'm going to do for length. How about short form, long form. Okay, great. Next, areas of specialties, which cities? I cover I'm going to just say Douglas County Lakes area. I primarily work with Lake, well, let's see here, neighbors of regions you primarily serve. So I'm a Douglas County guy, and I'm going to say Lakes area, which can include up to I'm going to say 35-mile radius around Alexandria, Minnesota. Okay. Do you have any special types? I tend to work with investors and lake property owners mostly. Okay. Again, it's just going to walk you through. It's going to try to have a conversation with you. We're going to try to make it as easy as we can for you to use this thing, right? Professional background. How many years of experience do you have? I've been in real estate since 2004. Christine's got me beat by a year. I first obtained my license in 2013. Prior to this industry, I failed my way through the corporate America structure. So now you can start to see, I'm going to start to play with a little bit America. You're going to see, I'm going to play with my own terms and my own language and my own dialogue, right? Describe your journey into this. See here, I first fell in love with real estate when my mom and dad would bring me through every open house growing up they could find. Um, excuse me. Let's see here. Also, what are some of my main strengths? I consider my main strengths to be in negotiations, along with finding off-market deals for my clients. Oops, sorry, I gotta get this. Okay, so I'm gonna hit that. Love the personal touch you've added about falling in love with real estate. The ChatGPT. It's so encouraging, you guys. Okay. Next, milestones, achievements, notable accomplished. My wife and I purchased our brokerage in 2020. Great time to buy a real estate company. I currently hold multiple designations from the National Association of Realtors. I'm just going to leave it there to kind of work through it in a little bit of a time. Thank you. Background and hobbies. I am a huge soccer fan and do a fair amount of coaching for that sport. Also, nothing like standing in an open field soccer ball in 85-degree weather. Again,
Or
adding just
pouring
little
rain.
bits. Yeah, pouring rain. Those are the days we call those making memory days. Yep. For example, I do a lot of volunteering in the community with um, Habitat for Humanity, our local community theater, and my church. I absolutely love spending time with my family on the lake or putting together Legos. Okay. And again, it's not going to use it all, right? You're just giving it information. The more information you give AI, the better the result it's going to end up with. How would you summarize your approach to working with buyers, sellers, or investors? My philosophy or commitment to service? Oh boy. I take a brutally honest approach to working with clients. There will never be a doubt on where I stand, but will always be on my client's side until we reach their goal. I might think that through a little bit better if I'm honest with you, but it's okay. Um, Next up, required. Are there any state-specific disclaimers to be included, especially for North Dakota? No, please just include my license number at the very end. Would you prefer your bio in first person? I would prefer a first person tone, please. Any other unique certifications, designations, memberships you want me to include? And for the sake of time, I'm going to say nothing else I can think of at this time. Thank you. All right. So, taking all my information here, right? Again, this is the skeleton. You're going to take this and customize it to where you are. Hey, I'm Brandon, a real estate professional licensed in both Minnesota and North Dakota, specializing in the beautiful Douglas County Lakes area. With years of experience, I help investors and lake property owners find the perfect property, offering my clients a brutally honest approach. Might not use the word brutally honest in my marketing, but you never know. And a relentless commitment to achieving their goals. I'm known for my expertise in negotiations and my ability to find off-market deals that others often miss. Ooh, that was a nice little ad it did, right? I first got into real estate after years of corporate work, but my true passion was sparked as a kid, tagging along with my parents to open houses. See, that's cute, right? Like, I don't know, I like it. Might steal this one. In 2020, my wife and I purchased Coldwell Banker Crown Realtors, and since then, I've worked hard to build a reputation for reliability and integrity. When I'm not helping clients, you'll find me in the soccer field coaching kids, volunteering with local organizations, or spending time with my family on the lake, right? So there's my short version, and then there's my longer version right there, too. So this is a really simple way for you to update this thing. Okay. Now, one of the things that you can do is also come in here and what I would really love to see you do next is take your short version. Okay. And what I would like to make sure that you do is please rewrite this to post uniquely on realtor.com. Okay. Now, I'm going to change this out. I'm going to make sure it's got all my information on there. And I think I said 2619, whatever. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is now I have one copy that maybe I'm going to put, once I have a final copy that I like, I'm going to send to Heather. I'm going to post inside of Bay because you can update your own profile in Bay, which will then feed to all the syndicate sites. But now I'm going to take this and I'm just going to say, please rewrite it so it's unique. And now I'm going to take this version, right? As long as I like it, and I'm going to go update my thing here. Okay. By the way, Christine updated her header image custom. Nice job. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to edit my profile and I'm going to repost that here. I'm going to come back to this one, say, that's super awesome. Well done. Can you please rewrite another unique version to be posted on Zillow.com? And now I'm going to say, hey, please rewrite me another one. Okay. Ooh, a no holds barred, honest approach. That one I kind of like. Okay. So now, also, I'm going to get a bunch of versions of this, which is great. Now I'm going to take this, and what's great, check this out. This version is slightly shorter and more direct, keeping Zillow's style in mind. What's kind of cool about this is guess what? It knows the demographic that is on Zillow. It knows the demographic that's on realtor.com. It's going to use that demographic data to help drive a better version of your bio to speak to the more ideal candidate on those platforms. Okay. And I'm going to say, super awesome, dude. Can you rewrite uniquely for homes.com? And I'm going to give it the specific platforms that I want it to rewrite this for. And now, again, here's the bonus. Number one, you already spent the time because you do have to spend some time going through the prompt, customizing it, making sure that you like what you have. But once you have that copy, then you bring what you like back, and then you don't have to go through every different iteration, right? You want to skim it, make sure that that's you, okay? But then now you can rewrite everything for each specific application and new website that you have and you want to run from, which I think is super cool. So this is, again, kind of the high level piece of why do we do this, how we do it. Okay. So if you've never been on ChatGPT, I'm sorry, you probably won't get any more work done for the day, but it is super fun. And it is a tool. I want to be really clear. It's a tool. It's not there to replace you. It never will. But it is a tool to help you work smarter inside of this business that we know is real estate. So I got 8 minutes left. That's all that I had for you, but I'm very open to questions, comments, concerns, anything that you guys maybe have on this one that I can sort of help you with. Did I blow your minds?
That was very helpful.
Katie, what else did I miss? Should I do something different?
No, I think you covered all of the pieces that you would need to. I think once people start playing in it, if you guys have any questions or
Mm,
it's not doing what you want it to do, let us know.
absolutely.
And we can always help you out, but it's pretty intuitive.
Yeah, and I will say too, again, I'm going to send this form back to you. So again, I created this one here just to kind of walk you through the basics of it. Okay, what you're looking for, what you're looking to do inside of here, and then this would be that prompt then that you'll just take and work from. And again, if you are like, I want it to do something different, just let it know, right? Like you saw me kind of manipulate and tweak the prompt along the way when we were working through rewriting one of Christine's. And you can do that just as simple with this prompt. So it's not a perfect prompt, I'll tell you, but it at least is something that should guide you through all the basics of getting you a really good bio on the other end of it. So even if you just do the bare bone minimums, you should get a really solid updated bio that we'll be able to use in different spaces. And then again, I would love for you to hit it, rewrite it uniquely for at least Realtor and Zillow, like the big dogs, and then any other platforms that you have too. But we want our website and your website to be unique to you, and then expand that. The other thing to consider too is like you could put the full version if you wanted. You could put the full version inside of Bay, and so that'll land on your agent profile. It'll be pushed to a lot of the other sub networks and stuff. The question is just depending upon how long it is. Sometimes they have a character cutoff, and that's where we get the short version, and then we rewrite that uniquely for each different platform. So, but again, to Katie's point, if you guys get stuck, feel free to call. Feel free to message me or Katie or Sean. Like we'll happily help you out. And whatever we can get done for you in one of these spaces. If you want to schedule a time to do it one-on-one, I'm happy to do that with you too. So like not a big deal. It's important. This is our challenge for the month is to ask you to please take, an hour is all we did, right? Here and update your bio, get it turned into us, get that off to Heather so that she's got it. And then we'll do something fun to see who's going to win that drawing coming forward here at our next Crown Wide meeting. So 9:55, you're officially dismissed. I will kick the recording, but I'll stick around in case anybody has any questions. So thank you guys and hope you have a great day.